everyone, it's Nick from Breaking the Clutch. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and this is, obviously by the title, the first match of our BtC eLeague Grand Finals that we held, I think it was last weekend. So, real quick, if you're not familiar with BtC eLeague, you're probably familiar with our Halo Wars 2 tournaments that we've done in the past. This is a kind of a new outlook on it. We're going to be hosting tournaments and a league through the Breaking the Clutch or the BtC eLeague arena, and then also through our Discord. So if first of all you need to join the BtC eLeague via Club on Xbox, and then you also need to join the Discord because there is going to be important information like bracket updates and everything like that going on through the Discord, since the arena is a little bit wonky at times, and we'll get into that in a separate video. But again, if you are interested in playing competitive Halo Wars 2 for absolutely free, join the BtC eLeague on the club, and then also join our Discord for more information. Our next tournament, I believe, is the 24th. I'm sure Hasasai will go ahead and correct me if I am wrong on that, but we're planning on hosting 2 tournaments a month, and then at the end of our season, which is going to span, I think, 3 or 4 months, we will have a final tournament with everyone ranked on it, and then we'll call it a season. And winners get prizes, stuff like that. So again, stay tuned if you're interested in anything like that. But without further ado, let's jump into the Grand Finals. Game 1 right here. We've got on the red side Loon Smile. He's going to be playing as Captain Cutter. And this one's going to be a little bit tricky, but we've got Pimp Daddy Atriox. I'm going to just call him Trox this game, but he's not playing as Trox, he's playing as Shipmaster. Now, ever since the patch, there's been some interesting things I've noticed in 1v1s, and again, I'm not a 1v1 player by any stretch of the imagination, but grunts have been a lot more viable than I had previously given them credit for. So you're going to see on Trox's side, you're going to see quite a bit of grunts. I'm not saying it's going to be full pop grunts, but you're going to see a lot more grunts than I would have anticipated going into this tournament. And then on the reverse side, you're going to see Loon Smile get Barracks out on the enemy side. He's actually going to go ahead and flank around. He's going to pick up that, it's probably everyone's worst nightmare on Rift, is when you don't pick up one of the mini bases on your side of the map, and then it turns out that the other player snags it, puts a barracks on it, or puts a raid camp on it. That's absolutely my worst nightmare, especially when you're trying to manage eco that early in the game. But pretty much that's what Loon Smile is going to do. He's going to put a barracks on it, and then he's going to start pumping out flamethrowers. And without spoiling it just at this moment, Trox is actually going to make a very nice play, and we'll see what he does to counter that when the time comes around, because you wouldn't have guessed it, especially playing as Shipmaster. I'm not quite sure how viable Shipmaster is in 1v1s as a grand scheme of things, but Trox is going to play him very nicely this game. And you'll see he's got I think 5, maybe 6 grunts out at this moment. Flamers are coming. It's not looking good at this moment for Trox, but he's going to be able to get his Shipmaster's hero out, Shippy's hero out, and that's pretty much going to change the outlook of this game. He's invisible, so he's going to and it takes 2 slashes to kill anything. He's got a turret up, he's got a second turret up, they can't spot him. So I absolutely love this counter right here, and it's going to change the outlook of this entire game, because I mean, let's be honest here, most of us are going to lose this engagement right here. You've got 4 or 5 grunts, you get caught with your pants down, but guess what? You've got an invisible sword slasher that does pretty much cuts their health bar in half every swing, and then you've got turrets coming up. You're going to use those grunts as just cannon fodder, pretty much just as a distraction, and just like that, you've pushed away that rush. And again, it's not like the amount of flamers he had right there probably isn't going to win the game, but these things do snowball out of control, especially with the flamers, especially with the barracks being just about 10 feet from the base. You lose control of your units, and you've got to make more, and then they've got 6 or 7 more flamers out showing up to your base. They're taking out harvesters, they're taking out extractors. So again, those things snowball out of control, and it's all in 1v1s, in my mind at least. It's all about slowing down the early game, and if you can take out an extractor, you can take out a supply pad, or do even more damage than that, then you're setting yourself up to win the game in the mid game. So again, just little things like that. Without Shippy's hero, he's probably not going to win that engagement, and overall he's probably going to lose fairly quickly after that if he doesn't have it. Just because those flamethrowers, man, they do a ton of damage to bases, obviously. So that was a heads up play. I absolutely loved it. And that's one thing to keep note. If you're going to be going Shipmaster, try to counter your enemy with Shippy's hero. And another interesting thing I want to note is that these engagements that are happening right now don't have too many units involved. Normally around that 5-6 minute mark. People are, it seems like the new meta right now, a lot of people are flame rushing or they're spamming a lot of grunts. Neither of these guys have a lot of different units right now. They've got, I think from Trox's side, he's got like six total units with most of them being grunts, and then obviously Shippy's hero. But you're gonna notice that they're gonna have very small engagements with small armies, and they're gonna do that until around the 9-minute mark, where you start to see a more of a diverse set of units coming out and attacking. But now the next step right here, obviously in any 1v1 game, is getting your secondary base. I think they're both trying to pick it up at the same time right now, and it's pretty much going to come down to who has the army to defend that base and who has the height advantage too as well. Because you're going to notice on Rift, a lot of people, there's a little ledge, you'll see it a little bit later in this game, it's to the left hand side of that red base, where if you can get on that ledge and you can pretty much shoot down an enemy base without being attacked from the ground up. And the same thing goes on the other side. If you get on the other ledge, you're going to be able to do damage to that one. So it's also going to be a who gets that ledge control, who gets the mini base behind that ledge, so that way they can produce units out of there, so that way they have a shorter range to go when it comes to getting to that ledge with their units. So a lot of things are going to play into this specific map, and our 1v1 tournament was held around Rift. This was just for the first tournament. I'm not sure if Hostile wants to change it and make it several different maps in the next tournament for our 1v1s, or if he wants to just focus on one map a tournament. I'm sure he'll clarify that, and I'll put that in the comments below as well. But again, this tournament was centered around Rift, so these guys came in with strategies for how to play Rift, and clearly one of them is take out the mini bases on the sides, take that ledge, and then shoot down on your opponent's base. It's a lot easier to do that than to just show up at the front door and attack it. But then you'll notice right here, Shipmaster's also got that the drop. I think it's his drop, and he's got a hunter, he's got a ranger, and he's got a couple engineers out of that, which it's a nice play in ones. I don't think it ever works in 2s or 3s, which is what Pat and I play. But in ones, these things are, if you can get any units out, it always benefits, and that's not necessarily the case in 2s or 3s. But right now, Loon has nothing to really counter. I think he'll probably try to go air in this instance. Yeah, he's got double air pad up, and he's probably just going to put out Hornets. Hornets have gotten a buff since this last patch. A lot more confidence is being used in them. But you'll notice that the game has shifted ever since the early part of the game, where Shipmaster was able to push back Loon. Loon never came back around. He's not at the front base of Trox, and he's able to build up that secondary base. And I mean, these are pretty much how these 1v1s go. If you are able to get your secondary up, defend it, and you're able to produce and cut down your opponent's secondary base in the early part, you've set yourself up for the mid game. I don't even know if this game's going to get to the mid game. I think it's 12 minutes long. So based on whatever you consider the mid game, I don't think this gets to the mid game. But you started to see it already. It's very difficult right now for Loon Smile to get a grip on what's happening here, especially because he can't pick up that secondary base. He doesn't have the units to defend it, and Trox he's got grunts in it. The grunts, I don't know if they got a buff in this last patch. I did a patch video on it, but I can't remember now. But it seems like something happened with the grunts, where I think it was the core infantry. No, what was it? The rush infantry got a boost against certain vehicles. And you're seeing it here. I mean, they're able to attack air a lot more efficiently, and I absolutely love what Trox is doing. He doesn't overextend. What we're seeing you do in 1v1s is overextend, because then that's when the counter happens, and then you lose everything very quickly. So it's always important to keep your units alive. Obviously, you don't want to just spam them and send them off to the graves. But right now, Trox is in a great spot. Secondary base is not up for Loon. Loon is trying to pick up. Again, he's doing nice with the air, but he needs, I think, more snipers in this instance. What else would he probably need? Maybe snipes, maybe some Cyclops, since those locusts are going to be in play, or just spam Marines with RPG. What would you guys do in this instance right here? I've played the new game, or since the new patch, quite a bit, but I'm not familiar with this kind of scenario. So if you guys have any input, leave that down below, and we'll see what could have been differently here. And this is the ledge I'm talking about. We've got Trox pushing up nicely to pick up that secondary base. He's going to go ahead and then shoot down on this upcoming base, and I don't know. It just seems like the game got out of control for Loon. In this particular instance, this is a best 2 out of 3, so game 2 will be posted on Thursday. Yeah, you'll see it on Thursday. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. I'm gonna let the rest of it play out, but congratulations first of all to Loon Smile and Pimp Daddy Atriox for getting to the grand finals. This has been game 1. I'm gonna go ahead and let it roll out, and I'll see you guys on Thursday for game number 2. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys have a fantastic day.
Constructed. Apex constructed.